I got a call from Oprah Winfrey.
Oh,
and
she called you too, huh?
Yeah, she called me too. And I had never spoken to her before. I never met her before, but she was planning a thing called the Legends Weekend, where she honored all these black women who had been influential, just legends in the game, all the great actresses, Cicely Tyson, Gladys Knight, Tina Turner, all these women that she wanted to honor. She brought them all together to her place in Montecito and honored them, and she called it Legends Weekend. And she called me up and asked me to perform at it. And the only reason that she called me up, this brand new artist with one hit song out, was because my stage name was John Legend.
Wow. Hey, Big Boy's Neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure to have this man back in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
The talented John Legend in the neighborhood. Welcome back, brother.
It's great to be back, sir.
Hey,
great
man.
to see everybody.
Yeah, man.
As much as you do and all the accolades that you have, you still come back.
Yes.
I mean, this is the biggest accolade.
Oh, you stop there, man.
Being on Big Boy.
Oh, you stop there, man.
That's how you know you made it.
Man, yeah, it is. You know what, man? I did some great therapy work, so yeah, I'm not going to even argue that. Yeah.
Yes, accept it.
That is true,
Yes,
man. You know
receive
what?
that compliment.
I will take that compliment. Now, the new album is Legend.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, for a name like John Legend, when you first get in, and we probably had this conversation before, was the name John Legend a lot to carry early on? Did people think it was too much?
Well,
Not too much.
I
but-
thought it might be too much. I was like, the first person to call me that was a guy named Jay Ivey. He's from Chicago. He's a spoken word artist. I met him when I was working with Kanye on The College Dropout. And he started calling me the Legend and then John Legend because he just heard, that classic soul in my voice.
Yeah, man.
The ancestors that, we grew up listening to, he heard in my voice. And he started calling me that, and then eventually it kind of took on a life of its own, became a nickname that my whole crew was calling me. And then eventually I was like, man, maybe I should use this as a stage name. But I'm like, I don't have a record deal yet.
Yeah.
You don't want to be just some unsigned guy going around calling himself John Legend.
You could have been John the Phenomenon, too. You know what I'm saying? Give it up for John the
John
Phenomenon.
the one-hit wonder. It could have been a bunch of things. But, I decided I'm not going to go into this with fear that it's not going to work out.
Yeah,
I'm going to
man.
go into this and bet on myself and say, I'm not only going to take this name on, I'm going to use this name to get the attention that I want and then try to earn it with the music and earn that title with my career. And I've just
Right.
been trying to live up to it ever since.
Hey, man, before John Legend, as a entertainer, what was your name? Were you by your government or
My government name, I was just John Stevens,
and that? But see, that works too.
It's fine.
Yeah.
What's funny is right after I decided to go with John Legend, there was an American Idol contestant very early on in American Idol when it was still like the biggest show in America. And his name was John Stevens, too. And I was like, see, that's a sign. I knew I was supposed to change my name.
Right.
And then when after Get Lifted had come out, and that was, late 2004, and then Ordinary People shot up the charts in 2005, I got a call from Oprah Winfrey.
Oh,
And-
she called you too, huh?
Yeah, she called me too. And I had never spoken to her before. I never met her before, but she was planning a thing called the Legends Weekend, where she honored all these black women who had been influential, just legends in the game, all the great actresses, Cicely Tyson, Gladys Knight, Tina Turner, all these women that she wanted to honor. She brought them all together to her place in Montecito and honored them, and she called it Legends Weekend. And she called me up and asked me to perform at it. And the only reason that she called me up, this brand new artist with one hit song out, was because my stage name was John Legend.
Wow. Hey, John, does Oprah get on the phone with you, or does
She
her
called
people?
me herself.
Wow.
Well, she prearranged. She was like, reached out to my agent and was like, can you get me John Legend's number? I want to speak to him.
And they gave her the number?
And yes, they did. And my agent says, John, I just want to let you know I gave Oprah your number. She's going to call you today. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And
doing nothing with
the crazy thing about it is on the same day, Magic Johnson called me.
Damn.
These are two people I looked up to my whole life.
For two separate occasions?
Two separate occasions, both in their separate backyards. So Magic's backyard in L.A., Oprah's backyard in Montecito. They were both throwing events there, and they both had heard Ordinary People, heard the album, and wanted me to be a part of the events that they were throwing. And I always tell people that's the day I knew I was famous.
Yeah, that's the day you knew you arrived, bro. I'm like, man, if I get 2 calls back to back, it's always for money. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, you know, such and such call, such and such call.
I get spam calls.
Yeah. Have you heard of this person named Spam Risk? They call me all the time. Now, the album is the 8th studio album, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you count them.
Right.
Well, one of them is a Christmas album. Sometimes they don't count those. But then also had a collaborative album with The Roots that's not counted in that. So you could say it's 9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay. So why Legend for this album?
I just felt like this was a statement album. This is where I am in my life right now. I've been through so much in my career. It's a double album.
Yeah,
I'm on a
man.
new label. I felt like this is the time to self-title the album.
Explain the double album to me.
Yeah, so I organize it as a Saturday night act and a Sunday morning act. So Saturday night is more fun, up-tempo, sexy, songs like All She Wanna Do, songs like Dope. And then the Sunday morning is more reflective and romantic and intimate, classic ballad style that people also expect from me. So a lot of that is on the second act. And I wanted to divide it up that way because I know people listen to different music for different moods.
Right.
And I felt like dividing it that way kind of organize it for the different moods in your life.
Let me tell you what I've been on is Memories.
Yes.
But you know what? It's crazy because when you say how it's double or it's split, I find myself listening to the end, the latter part of it. You know, because that's just where I'm at right now.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And I figured that would happen for some people. Some people will want to listen to it all the way through, but sometimes you'll just want to be in that Act 2 space, and that Act 2 space is beautiful.
But you know what? It's a complete album of what you feel. And when I say that, it's an album of if you want to get, you know, even with Rick Ross, that's a different delivery.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also, like, we were talking about something on air this morning. And Ani got something mixed up with tropical music. You know what I'm saying? But that I Want to Know also
I want
is
you to
another.
know.
I want you to know that's another one where it felt like I want to be on a boat with my wife somewhere.
Yes.
We don't have the money for it right now.
You got this.
But you know what? But it is.
Make sure this man got money for this boat.
Now watch. Watch when you stop doing interviews here. They'll be like, he riled him up. He riled him up. But going into the album, was it a different mindset going into this album as opposed to albums previous?
Well, it was a crazy time because we still weren't touring yet, and we had a lot of time to write, you know? So I wrote more for this project than I've ever written before. Just, we were making records, man. We were
How
over
many
there.
on there? We get like 24?
There's 24 on the album,
How
but
many
we
do
wrote,
you write
we
and
wrote like
record?
80. We wrote like 80 some, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, a lot of songs, man.
But
We
you
were
didn't record 80.
Well,
There's pieces
I
and
record
bits?
a demo of every song that I write. So there are recordings of them, but I don't finish all of them. I start to focus on the ones that I think are the winners, and then, you know, really spend more time arranging them and fleshing them out. But I record a demo version, and I write really quickly, and I record very quickly.
Damn.
So if I go in on a session, I usually go in around noon or 1 o'clock, and I have my own studio, and I'll bring, you know, co-writers over, and we'll sit there and just vibe. And we usually have a song written and recorded, a demo version of it by like 5 or 6.
The same day.
That same day. And then it may get revised later. It may change a little bit, but there's at least a rough draft of it right there in that moment. And I'm done in time to go home and have dinner with my kids. So
how do you know it's the song?
You don't know, because
Right.
you can get seduced by being in the moment. So you can be a prisoner of the moment and be like, oh, I'm just. And part of it is you just happy you finished it. You know?
Yeah.
Like
do you have to back away from it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you feel that sense of accomplishment in the moment. You're like, oh, we finished it. It's a song. And it's fine. Like I'm not writing bad songs.
Right.
But
I know.
But some of them are like they're just okay. And you know.
But
a couple weeks later, you play them for some people. You live with them a little bit. You hear what you don't love about it. And you might go back and revise it. And then some of them you're just like, I can't save this one.
Right.
It's not going to live up to the standard that I want it to live up to. I'm going to focus on the ones that I think will. And so then you start to focus on those. And take them to the finish line. Sometimes we'll rearrange them. Sometimes we'll rewrite some of the lyrics. But we're like, I want to invest my energy into these because these feel like winners.
Does it feel like you put so much in? Because now, and this isn't disrespect to the industry or the ears that's listening now.
Yes.
It's just that there's a different appetite for certain, like how you could say, I wrote something, I put it down, I came back to it, we rearranged. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's a different passion.
Here's how I discuss it with some of my peers in the business, and then just as a fan, I can tell when an artist put care and intention into their album,
Right.
and I'm attracted to that in music. You hear it with Beyonce, you hear it with Kendrick, you just hear it with certain artists. You feel like this wasn't just something they threw together, that they really put time into getting it right and care and intention into getting it right. And I appreciate that as an artist, and I appreciate that as a fan. And I want to do that for my fans so they know that when I put something out, I didn't just throw it out there haphazardly. I put care into it and time and intention into it.
And you have a Ty Dolla $ign is on the album as
Yes.
well. Were you surprised by Ty Dolla $ign in the studio?
Oh, he's so smart, so sharp. And I wasn't surprised because, he's done great work in the past. It wasn't like,
because he extra works too.
He works hard,
Yes.
and he's really just good. Like the lyric he put down for Splash is incredible. It's quotable, and he can sing too.
Yes, sir.
And he just added so much flavor to the song, and I loved working with him. We actually wrote another song together that we chose between those two, and this one was better. But he's dope.
If you have 24 on the album, Legend, and let's just say there's roughs and there's a little bit, but let's say it's 80 songs, ideas, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
How does John Legend tell those other babies that they're ugly?
Well, what sucks about it is not only are you not choosing that song, but there are other people that worked on the song with you, and you're like they're rooting for their song to make the album, and you have respect for them as creators. You got in a room with them and y'all made something together, and you're not gonna use it.
How do you tell them, or you just wait till it's out? Like
I don't usually
do they call you on September 9th like, hey, man?
Usually my A&R or somebody at the label or management
say it didn't make it.
Yeah, it's not going to make the cut.
So what do you do with all the songs that don't make the cut?
I mean, we might.
How many songs does John Legend have?
They're probably going to Tupac me after I die, and you'll hear all of them.
Now. How many songs do you think you have that we never heard?
Hundreds. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Are you always creating?
Pretty much. When I'm on tour, I don't usually write a lot.
Gotcha.
So that's why I wrote more for this project.
Right.
Because we couldn't go on tour for quite a while.
Did you miss going on tour?
I did miss it. But I'm a dad now. I got 2 kids and my wife. And it's like, it's nice being home with them too.
Yeah.
And I work on The Voice, so I was still able to, keep a paycheck coming in.
I love how he was living just, making ends meet. He was like, man, I don't know where this money gonna come from, honey.
But a lot of people in our business, they couldn't go on the road, and there were no checks coming in except for maybe streaming checks. And
that $1.32.
Yeah, and that it takes a while to add up. You got to have a lot of streams for it to add up. And so I was fortunate to have The Voice to be able to still, bring in substantial amounts of money when we couldn't go on the road. Yeah, substantial. When we couldn't go on the road. And but it also gave me time to be home with my family and to create. And this album is a result of all that.
Hey man, when we talk about the album Legend, is that album therapeutic for you as well?
Yeah, because I think about all the tough things we went through in the past few years. Our family went through it, but people all over the world were going through things.
Yeah,
we were losing.
and that's what I tell people, John. I'm like, man, we all had a this and a that.
Yes.
When it came to the pandemic, we all had this to deal with.
Yes.
And we all had this. And then we all had, man, I got to deal with that.
And
too.
quiet as it's kept, we're still losing hundreds of people a day.
Yes, sir.
To this disease, So people all are going through things, and I think music can be healing. And the writing process was healing. And then listening to it with my family as we were going through these things was healing.
Was it? It was personally healing for you and the family. Yeah.
Absolutely. And one of the songs, particularly Stardust, it was like our kind of family anthem, helping us get through some of the tough things we were going through at the time.
Was it hard to share Stardust or just share certain things? Like if the family lock onto something and say, man, this is our get through song. Why do you share that?
It's not hard to share it. You know, I still feel
because
like,
we need to get through songs.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and I feel like so much of what I do is sharing my humanity, my personality, my experience with the audience, and I don't feel hesitant to do that.
How do you get up from things though? You know how sometimes it's like, man, I gotta get up, I gotta put the cape on, I gotta put the smile on, I gotta take the call.
And part of it is being a husband and knowing that it's not just me. Like I gotta help my wife, I gotta help my family get through this, and I need to be a rock for them. And so that helps motivate me because I know that if I'm strong for them, it can help everybody be strong together.
Really? So are you now not being able to go on the road because you couldn't? Are you looking for are you touring soon?
We're going to tour in 2023, but right now we're doing our Vegas residency.
I know, man. How's that?
I love it. I truly love it. And I've been having so much fun.
Explain that residency to me. And I've never asked these questions, right? When you do a Vegas residency, do you just have like a suite upstairs and walk downstairs to perform?
So we're playing at Planet Hollywood at the Zappos Theater, and Caesars owns Planet Hollywood. So we're actually staying at Caesars, which is just around the corner. But yeah, we're there in the hotel.
Do you write everything off? Like if you want to eat, is everything free?
You know, they take care of us.
Oh, okay, just wondering, man.
The room is free. They own these places, so they can afford to, you know, let us stay in a room. But yeah, so we spend a couple nights there a week. And then the rest of the time I'm here at home.
What does that look like with the world coming to see you though? Because everybody has a different story of why they're there.
Yeah, people come to Vegas to have a good time, and we want to show them a good time. And what I love about it is we can do more on the stage because we're not putting the money into buses and trucks and moving the show around. So we can put more investment into what you see on the stage. And we've done this show bigger than any show we've done before. Wow. I've got dancers. People are not used to seeing me with this. You know, they're used to me on the piano. And we do that too. We strip it down during the show, but we definitely go big and we embrace the Vegas of it all as well. And we cover my whole career, get lifted through now, and we talk about my roots in the church, all of that. So it's fully being grateful and embracing the journey that I've gone through. I talk about some of the songs I featured on before they even knew who I was. All of that, the whole journey, we go through it in 2 hours, and it's my favorite show that I've ever done.
Really? And not that it never gets old, but you know, you'll walk into the same place, and that's gotta, not just being familiar, it's gotta feel like home and visitors are coming.
Well, yeah, visitors are coming, and I honestly, because we've developed the show and spent so much energy on it, I feel so confident in the show, and I feel like I'm fully in my power up there on stage, and I just feel good. I love it.
Without having that opportunity to go on tour, and you know, you sit down, you know how to occupy your time, you know how to write. At one point, we didn't know how we were getting out of this. There was no salt, and to this day, there's no expiration date on it. But while you're sitting there and you're going through writing, do you know that one day I'm going to be back out there? One day I'm going to get back on stage. And not only did you miss it, but did you anticipate that part? It's good to be at the house, good to be with the family.
Yes, and the thing is, we were writing songs thinking, oh, the pandemic's about to be over.
This is it.
So you know I was like, we were writing songs.
You was like Trump said Easter.
Well, I started when Biden had already gotten elected, so I wasn't. So we started the album basically right when he was about to get inaugurated. We had started writing it, but yeah. So we were looking forward to, you know, the vaccines were about to come out, and you know, Biden got elected. I was like, things are going to get better. Things are looking up. And so we definitely were writing with that in mind too.
Yeah, took a little bit longer than what you thought.
It took a little bit longer.
Yeah,
and we out here now though, and it's fun to have music to celebrate to dance to feel good man. to be together too.
And especially now with what's going on, like you need some good
feel
good music. You need something to kind of take you away from
Absolutely.
it. Yeah,
and I think this album is definitely a feel good album.
Right, and you knew that while making it, and while you present it.
Absolutely.
I heard that, man. Can I ask you, what's your relationship with Kanye right now?
There's none, really.
Yeah.
We haven't talked in a while, but we spent so much time together, created so much together that, you know, we could reunite. Who knows? You know, when you disagree with someone and it's to the point where you just rather not, you know, be with them at that point and spend time with them at that point, you know, that's just something that happens in people's lives, you know?
Right.
And people go through that with their friends, and it doesn't mean you can't reconcile, doesn't mean you can't let bygones be bygones at some point, but right now we're not friends.
Yeah. We don't speak either right now.
Well,
yeah, I tell you, you know, we haven't had the chance to talk about it, so I don't want to just blow it out there. But hey, you know, it happens. You know what I'm saying? And
sometimes you have to protect your own energy as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think, you know, your friends are your chosen family, you know, and
yes.
You have family in your life that no matter what kind of falling out, y'all still blood, you're still connected to each other, but your friends are your chosen family. So if a friendship is not providing you with the edification that you needed to provide you, then you don't have to like keep trying to force it to work out.
I hear you.
You know, that's life.
It is what it is. Y'all stick around y'all radios. We got John Legend in the neighborhood. The new album is Legend, available for you right now. Big Boy's Neighborhood.